Hey everyone, Luke from Swoop Analytics, Customer Success and Growth Director in North America. Here today, joined by Pete Johns. Hey Pete.
Hello.
Pete's my counterpart in London and joining us from across the pond. We're here to talk today about our recent great collaboration debate. It's the first in our series where we are lifting the lid on some of the big more controversial topics in the collaboration and modern workspace. On Tuesday, we met with a group of our customers and some friends, and we talked about the issue or the topic of posting on behalf of or drafting on behalf of in your Yammer, Teams, or workplace network. The debate topic was authenticity versus pragmatism. Yeah, we had a pretty lively time, wouldn't you say, Pete?
Yeah, it was really good actually, and like you say, it's the first time we've tried this format for something, so it was very reassuring and enjoyable to be joined by people from all over the place. I mean, in the States we had sides. My geography is not that good, but it seemed like there was all different areas covered, and likewise in the UK we had a couple of people from Europe. So yeah, very, very good to get a good bunch of people together, but a nice friendly environment for some deep discussion, I think. So yeah, it from my perspective, it couldn't have gone better.
I think we learned a few things as well. I mean, I certainly did. I feel like I came into the debate with one perspective, but I definitely I felt like my perspective shifted based on some of the great thoughts that our attendees shared.
Oh yeah.
Why don't we set it up for the watcher of this video? Let's set it up the way we did in the debate. Do you want to share sort of the things we had heard in the lead up to the debate? When we spoke to our customers, we tried to get a sense for how they felt about each side. So we sort of spoke broadly across spectrum of people, and this is sort of the two takes. Pete, take us through it.
Yeah, so on the authenticity side, we've got things like, obvious stuff. Leaders who fake it get found out. If you prioritize your people, you'll find time to talk to them. And then, the thing that we really sort of focused on when we were coming up with this idea, to be authentic, you've got to write your own comms. You can't have someone fill in for you. That's just not authentic. Then on the pragmatism side, some really good points. I'm similar to you, where my sort of default position is, it's all about authenticity. During the debate, I got pulled more over to the pragmatism side, I must say, because the people participating were just sharing some really interesting, insightful opinions, perspectives, case studies. And I've got to say, I've sort of went more over to this pragmatism side of accepting that leaders are busy. They don't have time to spend on Yammer or workplace all day, every day. And the piece around internal comms expertise, they're experts who know how to write as someone else, and it's not possible for a leader to be across every conversation all the time. Simple, really pragmatic stuff. And all the people involved in the debate, I think, were more naturally aligned to the desire for authenticity and the sort of, it felt to me like there was a deep-seated mission to get to that authentic space where everybody is able to do everything themselves and completely comfortable being themselves, warts and all. But in particular industries, at particular times, with particular events, particular things happening, we just have to be pragmatic. And so I guess summarizing my experience of the debate was, I went in very firmly on the authenticity side. I've come out with a much more balanced perception, I think, and I'm a little bit more, potentially a little bit more understanding of the pragmatic side of things, I would say. Don't know about you, Luke. You sort of, you went on a similar journey by the sounds of it.
Yep, absolutely. Me too. I opened the debate sort of, I think you, when you opened the floor, I said, I'll go first, because I did feel very passionately about the authenticity, is key. In fact, during my career, I've heard myself saying that to leaders and saying that to organizations I've worked with. Authenticity is key. You cannot You cannot fake that. When people find out that it's not the real you, it's very disengaging and there's a loss of trust. I've also been sort of very much in the camp of we shouldn't even have these features, like post on behalf of. When I heard they were doing that, I didn't feel great about it. I thought like somehow the community peeps who'd been doing this for years and years are kind of lost.
Yeah.
However, I definitely had a shift in my perception during the debate. And one thing that I heard a couple of times from a few of our debaters was this notion of a hybrid approach. I think, if anything comes out of 2021, maybe hybrid is going to be word of the year.
Yeah, the word hybrid, yeah.
Everything's the hybrid model. But there is this, they feel as though there's a hybrid approach between authenticity and pragmatism. So just like you were saying, we need to be authentic. We need leaders to show up. But the reality is, especially in the bigger organizations where leaders have a very big remit and often many, many people to communicate with, they really need support, right, to be able to show up in that space. And I think the thing is, when there is a ghostwriter or there is an internal comms person who is acting on behalf of, the most important thing is that dialogue between those people remains open. If they are posting on behalf of, the leader has to know, at least be involved in, hopefully, what they're posting.
Yeah. I think it's that be pragmatic, but know that there are requirements around that. It's making sure that you have the vision of authenticity firmly entrenched in your brain, and you try to aim as much as possible for that, rather than making the pragmatic approach the default. And I think just to kind of wrap it up, I'm just thinking of people watching this catch up. A nice way to end would be at the end of the session, we asked the people attending to share one thing that they'll take away with them. And I was just going to share a couple of those things that really sort of, I think, sum up some of the key points. And the first one is one of the debaters said that they hadn't heard of this hybrid approach. They sort of saw it as a binary thing, but they'll take away the value of a hybrid approach. I think accepting that the reality is you can take that value of a hybrid approach away and really have that in mind, that it's not so binary. It's not one or the other. It can be a bit of both. There was another person who talked about the concept of engaging with versus communicating at, and that impacts where you might really sort of strive for that authenticity piece, and rather than allowing the pragmatic approach to take sway. And another really nice thing that resonated with me, but also someone else attending, was this concept of is your enterprise social network a megaphone or is it a hearing aid? And I just loved that concept of the megaphone versus the hearing aid. And again, how you approach your communication environment will also influence where on that authenticity to pragmatism spectrum you sit. That would be sort of my summary of it. Is there anything else you want to add, Luke, or should we call this a day?
I think we call it a day. I want to say thanks to the debaters who showed up, because we learned a lot on this side, and I know from what I heard in the wrap up and in the chat, our debaters also learned a lot from each other. We are super excited to continue this series, and our next debate is date to be announced. I feel like it might be in the new year, but let's see how we go. We do have Yammer Festival coming up. If you haven't registered, got to put the plug in. Visit the Swoop Analytics website. I think it's swoopanalytics.com/Yammer Festival. We are hosting an awesome festival. Tops the debates, probably. Maybe not. No, it tops the debate. But check it out. Great lineup of speakers, and more incredible learning in the collaboration and modern workplace space. All right.
Nice one. Cool.
Thanks, Pete.